when you look at the XRP ledger right now, of course, AMMs is one thing you said where we're behind and we need to add that to the ledger. Is there any other core functionality where you look at the ledger and everything it offers and you're like, you know what, this would be the next step? What would that be?
Yeah, I mean, bridges are a good thing. That's mandatory, right? The other thing I would say, even I'm not a fan of that either, would be smart contracts, but we have a solution for that. I mean, EVM compatibility is growing. So there are several solutions in the pipeline or semi-live or being looked at, and they will come. I mean, I was a huge fan, or I'm a huge fan of hooks. I was hoping it would come to mainnet. That didn't happen. It's now running on a separate L1, but okay, I still can use it. I get what I want. It's still in a language I can deal with. It's close to what we do for our daily business. So I'm still happy with that. Is it the best outcome we could have gotten? I don't think so, but why cry about it? It's there, right? The house live. The other things, the other EVM thingies are coming. I'm not really interested in the EVM stuff. So the base smart contract-ish compatibility that Hooks is delivering is good enough for what we want to do. But yeah, so that's the main thing.
That leads me into my next question. So we got Xahau that's now live. It's this total, separate chain there. Can you talk about the advantage of using hooks? Why you prefer that over like EVM? Because I know EVM is kind of the standard for most of blockchain, but it seems like hooks gives us some novel capability. Can you talk about why that might be the way to go?
I can only talk about how I see this from my own point of view, right? So the problem with smart contracts, the more complex they get, the more fragile they become, right? So we have seen a lot of products being built with smart contracts which run on top, that then going to get exploited and could be a staking pool, could be some sort of bridge functionality, whatever, right? These things usually get hacked or exploited, and you see a lot of bad things happening. Hooks is more basic to what I want to do, right? It's more like it's conditional statements. Oh, transaction A is happening, and that's why I want B to be triggered. And once B is triggered, I want C to happen, right? So easiest example for what we would do. Let's say we develop a game and we want to have as much as possible from the payment side on the blockchain. So it's not back-end logic. We could create a game where we do a progressive jackpot. Every time you wager $1, we're going to take 10% of that and pay this out in a progressive jackpot. Normally, you would do this on a back end and then tell the user, look, you have spun this and now the progressive jackpot is growing, right? And then the user have to trust that this jackpot exists in that size. If you would do this via hooks, this can be automated and be transparent. You would immediately see this on the blockchain. You could see, well, there was a $1 bet, 10 cents have been taken out. It's now in this progressive jackpot pool, and the pool it has a size of X. And you can then do most of the stuff you want to do with the hooks. One of my most controversial tweets ever was earlier this year, where I asked people, oh, would you be interested in a real on-chain staking solution? Which means there is no there's no back-end thing involved. It's like it's a hook that controls a wallet, and it works like you send your coins into that hook, and there's some logic being run like, oh, we're gonna hold this coin for like 30 days, and after 30 days you're gonna get paid out 10% of what you paid in, right? And this could be all done on-chain, unstoppable code, yeah, right? No one could mess with it, and it would just run, right? There's no entity behind. Someone just has to fill the pool up, and that could be whoever. So that would have been some nice thing. And that was one of the tweets that went through the roof. So I'm interested more in these things. I'm not really into the DeFi stuff myself, right? I'm a payments guy. I want to do payments. That's what we focus on. Another thing for hooks was, I mean, P2P bet is a great example, right? We wanted to utilize the deposit handling via token escrow, sadly doesn't exist, right? So the solution would have been we're coding the escrow solution for XRP, and we're going to find a workaround for tokens. And then it's like, well, now we have to do two things because it doesn't work on the XRPL. So we were like, well, we're going to save the time. We're just going to code the workaround. And whenever token escrow becomes available on the XRPL, we're going to switch that. Now with the Xahau, token escrow is a thing. And Hooks allows us to do something like NFT escrow. So you can now put up your NFT. The thing is managed by a hook. It's on chain. There is no way to tamper with it. And I think that's a good thing to create the trust from the user. Like, look, this is how this is handled. You can see this on chain. There is no way something is happening in the back end with all that stuff. Well, could everything that I've just explained, can this be done different? Yes, it can. Do I want it to do different? Well, I would like to do this on chain, right? That's the whole idea, do stuff on chain. Wasn't possible. It's now becoming possible with hooks, right? There are other nice gamified ideas we're playing around with that can all be realized with hooks. For the XRPL, there will be like a light version where some of the logic is just handled by one of our systems, which we don't really like, because every time we do something like this, we have to separate the side of the payment side and the wagering side from the production facing side, right? Because if someone figures out where the server who handles the logic is located, and they're breaking into that server, and that server has the capability to deal with the payments, then people can steal the funds, right? So now all these things are separated, which means even if you get access to one of these systems, you can't do anything because you're not connected to the side of the payments, right? So yeah, and that's overhead. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that I think is misunderstood and has got people riled up is the burn to mint feature. Because people are like, well, I don't want to burn my XRP. And my idea is if you want to invest in Xahau token, just go buy it like you would anything else on an exchange.
Yeah.
Do it that way. Is the point of burn to mint just to make sure no matter what, if you need some tokens to function over on that network and do a task that you could, is that the main thought of that? Or what's the main use case of that feature?
I need to think about how to reply to that without kicking a new controversy off about this. So why was it done this way? Well, it was done this way because the team thought about multiple ways on doing certain things. And by the team, I mean XRPL Labs and Richard, right? I'm not part of that team. And this was one of the ways they came up with that was like, well, from a legal point of view, this is okay. We can use that. And it's an ability to move XRP over from main chain. And I did a tweet about this, pinned on my profile 29th of August, where I clearly tell people, you should not burn to mint, right? Because one of the critic points is like, well, if you burn one XRP, this is now giving value to XAH at the same amount, which is not happening, right? It's like me throwing a euro into the river and then getting a hug from my wife, right? So that hug is now not worth a euro, right? Stupid example, but in order to make this more clear, normal people shouldn't burn. A big project that wants to come over has the ability to burn their XRP, but as of today, they could also sell a portion of those XRP and just buy the tokens on the open market. In addition, you don't need a busload of XAH to do stuff. Yes, hooks will be more expensive to execute stuff. So the execution of hooks will be more expensive. That's correct. However, still, we're not talking about thousands of dollars, right? So if you want to do something and you buy like 10,000 tokens XAH, you're probably good for a lifetime. From the point of view from executing stuff, right? I'm not saying that's gonna make you save in terms of investment. So my advice is, if you should only buy what you plan to use. I would strongly advise against speculating on XAH. So back to the original question, because I'm dodging that a bit. Why was burn to mint done? I don't fully know. It's a great mechanism. It allows you to move over. It has great use cases where you could argue like, well, you burn an XRP, you get an XAH. However, the difference in price between the two assets just makes it useless. Some people say, well, it's just an early buy function. But here's the great thing. It's a feature. You can use it. You don't have to, right? My operating system has a buttload of features I think are pretty stupid. I'm just not using them, right? The XRPL has some features that are super stupid, then just don't use them. People were acting like it's like an invite for the XRP community to burn their XRP to get XAH to create an instant transfer of price appreciation, which it doesn't. So that's not a work. So a better example would be you're burning $100 bill. I'm giving you a piece of paper that says Jungle just burned $100. Is that paper now worth $100? No, it's not. Right? It's just a paper that says you burned some things. If someone is now giving you $50 for that piece of paper, different story. But that's not the core idea. I think that a lot of people can't get their head around that. Yes, speculation will happen, right? Because you can't avoid that. So some people will be like, well, this is at like, I don't know, 20 cents. I'm going to buy some. And if it goes up, I sell, of course. But you have to keep in mind, and that was said from day one, don't speculate on this, right? Just it's way too early. There is no real customer base on the other side. Xamarin 2.6 went into test flight today. The Android version is going to come out tomorrow. People can't even use the wallet fully if you're not on the beta channel. So once this is going live, you finally have a wallet you can use. There aren't, and that's another funny thing that's being brought up all the time. There aren't that many hooks out there at the moment. And that's probably because everyone is working on different things now, right? Evernote is happening. I need to be careful what I'm saying about the launch date because I'm not sure if that's public already, but it's happening pretty soon. So this is being built. I think what Wietse and the team should have done different, they shouldn't have told anyone and just do it, right? But they wanted to be transparent. They wanted to tell people these are the options. And people started to argue about it before they were clear about the full picture. And that's why we're having this conversation even today about, yeah, XAH, it's drawing liquidity from the XRPL. I'm not sure what the daily volume of XRP is today. It's been a while since I checked. But I think it's a couple of, what is the volume? Yeah, it's like $2.2 billion.
Okay.
I think of XRP, right? And I think the XAH volume on B-Tree is like what, 250,000?
Right around there.
So what are you talking about? I mean, in the past, especially in the past week, it sounds like people think that the XRPL is this fragile little thing that gets killed by everything that comes around the corner, and that's not the case, right? I mean, $2.2 billion is a lot of money. It's still nothing compared to Ethereum and Bitcoin, right? Let's be fair about that. But it's not like that you launch a layer one overnight and you're getting a huge amount of volume and liquidity. So yeah, I really don't get that argument.
Let me ask you one more question about this. Is it possible we ever get a two-way bridge? Because to me, like, it's lights out then. If we can go both ways and do all our smart contracts over there, is it just a security issue? Is it a legality issue? All of the above? Like, why don't we see a two-way bridge? Because I think that would also change people's attitudes. Not that you have to have that, but
well, if you want to see a two-way bridge, you need to do some changes on mainnet.
on the
right?
XRP.
Yeah, on the XRPL. What you could do is you could issue wrapped XAH on the XRPL, and I think GateHub is going to do that. I'm not entirely sure about that. I know they're going to do wrapped XRP on XAH. So that would be a way. if we're talking about the real two-way bridge in both directions, then we would need to do changes to mainnet, and no one is really looking into this at the moment. So if you're a developer and you have some time on your hands and you want to write up a proposal and try to get this through, do it. None of the people working on this currently are thinking it's a realistic chance to get this done in a decent time frame as of today. This could be a completely different story 1 year down the road. Who knows, right? I'm not saying this is never going to happen. Personally, I would just doubt it based on today. So I'm pretty sure in the next 12 months, that's not going to happen. After that, we will have to see. Maybe hooks and Evernote as a combination is such a huge success that we're like, well, shit, we need this on mainnet. There is a chance. Do I think that's realistic in a decent time frame? No, I don't think so. But it's not. It doesn't mean it's impossible. Yeah, it's possible. I just don't think it's realistic at the moment.
Casino coin. Been around a long time.
Yeah.
It started out as its own fork, then merged over as an issued asset on the XRP ledger.
Well, actually, it's way back then. 2000. We're gonna do this real quick, right? Because it's a boring. So 2013 Litecoin fork, proof of work, taken over around 2016 by a bunch of people, created a foundation, did take, fun fact, first real sidechain of the XRPL. We took the software, we changed it because we want to do changes to how the network works and how certain things are being handled. And we wouldn't have gotten this onto the XRPL. So we created our own version of the XRPL. We called it the Casino Coin Ledger, separate network. CSC was the native token, so CSC was the XRP of the Casino Coin Ledger. Entities went bust. Part of the management walked away end of 2020. We took this over and brought it back to the XRPL because between 2016 and 2020, a lot of stuff changed. And the path for amendments and changes and the developer community, all that changed, right? So it was like, and our scope of our target changed, right? So I was like, well, we want to focus on payments. That's what we want to do. We're probably going to use the XRPL as an RNG, right? 3 to 5 seconds is fast enough for certain things like Lotto, not for slot, but for a Lotto application or something like that. And what we can get on the XRPL is good enough. Also, XAM was around. You could now build X apps. And we have built several applications beforehand. And the situation with the app stores, Play Store and the App Store, has gotten so much worse over that period. So I was like, well, I don't want to deal with this, right? Because I can remember back and forth communications with Apple about certain things and how we do certain things, which they didn't like. So we had to explain this. And then at the end, we had to give in and do things the way they wanted. And I didn't want to deal with that. So, and also developing a wallet and maintaining a wallet is a shitload of work. And it's a money grave, right? It's just the hours and the amount of testing and everything that goes into it. It's a fucking pain. And I was like, I don't want to do this. So we're using XAM. We're building our logic on top. We're going to make this little X app. And every time we need wallet functionality, we're just going to fall back. And I think that was one of the best decisions. We also had, so not Eminence, but NFT Limited built Non-Fungible, the NFT viewer. P2P bet is also an X app. And that has been proven one of the best decisions we ever made. So my advice to everyone who wants to build an app that needs wallet functionality, look into how you can build stuff on XAM. It's a great idea. Nevertheless, that's something we're going to talk about more before Christmas. We're going to port our application to standalone versions without wallet functionality. So you will still have, I don't know, Gem Wallet or XAM or whatever, or Crossmark to execute the transactions and stuff. Because I think whenever we don't have to handle by we, I mean our application, to handle payments or your coins, the best way for us. So technically our development does have zero risk because we never touch your funds. We never handle your funds. There's nothing people can get if you somehow break one of our apps.
And that's where you want to be as a developer. Have
Yeah.
the functionality, but
Yeah.
you know, all that risk of custody and everything else. You know, I remember back in the day when it was first announced, or not announced, but people were kind of getting excited about it. And people, myself included, were kind of like, well, why wouldn't you just use XRP for everything? Like, why do you need these other coins? And we saw a very different attitude on Ethereum, where it's like, heck yeah, we want an Aave coin and a MakerDAO, and people built a lot of amazing things. And we've seen what that's done for those applications and how valuable they are. And you know, Ethereum is an ecosystem overall. And I think we've turned that corner now in XRP where we can be excited about someone building on the ledger
Yeah.
and issuing assets and things like that. Talk a little bit about this poker website, because you know, I was having a blast on there. And I'm not playing for a lot of money, but I'm sitting there with Scam Detective and you're in the game, and I haven't been on there in a couple weeks, but just really a lot of fun. How's that process of growing that out?
So rnr.poker, just chilling it a bit, right? Doing great. It's a lot of fun. So it's a white label solution with a certified hardware RNG, right? So it's not a software RNG, it's a piece of hardware plugged into the server, which is handling the cards and the shuffles and the deals. So it's going good. It's growing steady. I think last week they tweeted out over 3 billion coins CSC have been wagered in total. I think the number's actually a bit higher. They're just lacking with the reporting a bit because I can see a bit higher numbers. It's good. The only problem is it's not connected to a network. So people on there are usually from within the community. However, what has been a great experience is that around 50% of the people playing poker are not CSC people. And that was something which blew me away because I know people on that site which hate me, quote unquote, they're still playing poker, right? And that's nice because you can have some great fun. Thanks to pathfinding, you don't even have to buy CSC, your own CSC. You can utilize XRP to deposit, and then while you deposit and sign the payload, it's getting exchanged and you end up depositing CSC. If you want to take your winnings out, you need a trust line, right? The usual stuff. So poker is going great. Super comfortable with the site. We're in conversations with Rock and Roller on how to push and grow that moving forward. And in 24, I want to double or triple down the efforts on getting the word out on R&R Poker, getting more communities on there. So what can be offered is you want to do a free roll. So let's take X-Factor and Junkies. They're having weekly free rolls on the side, right? So if you are a community and you want to utilize this and then have a way for people to play an XRP or CSC, some nice cash games, that can be done. We could even set up private tables for people, right? So if you want to do something with poker, hit me up. I'll be your first contact, and then I can talk to you to Rock and Roller, or I can get you in touch, and you can get your own little poker tournament going on a weekly or monthly or yearly base, whatever you want to do. What we're also working on is Malta 24. So we did sponsor the Malta Autumn Poker Festival in Malta last year. That was quite fun. We didn't make it this year. I want to do this again in 24, which means you're spending around $2,100 for 5 days, 4 nights in a suit. Food is inclusive. A buy-in to a high roller cup worth $1,000 is included. VIP party is included. So you can buy a ticket. And what we want to do is a tournament, so satellites, where you can win a ticket. So we're probably going to give away 3 tickets. We're still in the process of confirming the exact dates. Last time we did this a bit bad because it was very short notice for people traveling from the US, right? They probably need more time, and we want to give everyone the option to come over. So that's also in the mix. And like I said, for Casino Coin, closer to Christmas, we're going to push out a blog that's going to give more strategic outlook on how we're going to move forward.
Cool, cool. And then we have the poker going on. Are there any new areas you're looking to move into with Casino Coin that you can
Yeah,
talk about yet?
I teased that a little bit before. So it's going to be multi-chain, right? How exactly this will look like. We have an idea how we want to do this. The details will be announced once we get the sign off from legal, but it's looking good. I mean, cross-chain bridges are coming to the XRPL. That's great. There are a couple of safer options for bridging. We came up with our own mechanism, just needs to be signed off completely by legal. And then we're going to go multi-chain because I think the future is multi-chain. The XRPL is great for payments. Everything else, well, that's debatable. The Xahau is promising, but has no user base as of now, right? So we're already building stuff. We're part of a team of a couple of people who want to build something really nice for the Xahau, but we're playing one of the smaller parts in this, so I can't really talk about this other than teasing this all the time. It's gonna be awesome. We're porting P2P bet. We have a couple of games for a long time that have never been released, so we're gonna port this and utilizing a couple of the mechanisms we can now utilize with hooks. That's gonna be pushed in 24, and we just had all games added a few weeks ago. If you ever use the Casino Coin lobby and you go to all.games and you log in with your Xum account, that's very important. During the login options, pick Xum. You have $100 bonus sitting there. So we casually gave over $640,000 in bonus money away to our community, sitting right there for you to try the casino and see if you like the site or not. Just as always, make sure you don't have a problematic gambling behavior. Gambling is a form of entertainment, not a means of earning money. If you or your loved ones have problems with gambling, just hit us up. We're happy to help or get you some help.
Cool, cool. Down in the show notes, of course, will be a link to your Twitter, which I suggest people follow, not only for the entertainment when you're trolling people, but also you do informative videos, just a really great source. We'll have R&R Poker, the website. I'll link it down there as well, in case there's any poker fans out there that want to jump on there and play with us. It's a lot of fun. I got one more section, but before we do, what's this shirt that you have on? What is this thing about?
Can you see that? This is,
Yeah.
I hope you can see this. There's a video. You should probably link this in the description as well. My good old friend from Dubai, Schwamos. Sad day. He got banned from Twitter. And this is my form of showing support for Schwamos. I am Schwamos. You're Schwamos.
We're all Schwamos.
We're all Schwamos. So,
Oh,
Schwamos, my old friend, I got you covered. I'm Schwamos. I'm telling the world I'm Schwamos.